Hey tankers, Bonsai Duck here. We got a submission, a couple submissions, three actually, from a new player, Penelope Pitstop from the HNR clan. I think that's Hit and Run, if I remember correctly. You're going to have a tier 5 and two tier 6 games. And I'm assuming, and I apologize if I am, Penelope posted these videos up on the newcomers forum asking for some feedback. New player has probably less than 300 games in under their belt. Has some tier 5s and some tier 8 premiums. Okay, a couple. A tier 6 premium. You got the heavy tank number 5, I think, or number 6. Anyway, first piece of advice that I'm going to give you is don't be in a rush to run up the tiers. Having a tier 8 premium here and there is nothing. I'm not going to say don't do it. Just don't focus on tier 8. Don't be the I'm going to get up the tier 8, 9, and 10 as fast as I can, because you won't enjoy the game. You won't enjoy it one bit. You'll constantly get your ass handed to you. So tiers 1 through 3 are kind of where you're kind of learning the mechanics of the keyboard and stuff like that. Tiers 4, 5, 6, and even 7 a little bit. But tiers 4, 5, and 6 are where where you learn the basics of the game. The maps, the meta, the tanks, angling, gun penetration, dispersion, depression. That's where you need to focus on crafting the game. Because you're going to run into better players, you're going to run into new players, it's where you get the most mix, right? When you move into tier 6, then you can go, that's when you hit the +2, where you can play tier 8s, and of course you can fight tier 4s, but generally you'll see higher tier tanks, because there's more tier 8s than there are tier 6s. Okay, so tier 5 is probably the quintessential area of learning. That's where you can learn the best, okay? So that's just a quick piece of advice. I'm sure you'll see that a lot. The other piece of advice that I can give you right off the get-go is as I fire up your game here, I see that your mini-map is very, very small. Now, that makes it very hard to use, okay? The other thing that I want to point out is that in watching your videos, your movement of your mouse when you're looking at your gun is not fluid. It's jerky. All right, it's almost like you're using a tracking ball or a touchpad on a laptop. And if that's the case, I can understand why you might have if you're on a laptop, why you might have your mini map smaller, but still make it larger. All right, it doesn't have to be the largest. Make it big enough that it catches your eye, because that is your information of what's going on in the game. The mini-map is the information of what is going on in the game. It's where the enemy's at. It's where they were last seen. It's where your team is at. It gives you all the information you need to know what's going on. It's your radar, okay? So make it as large as you're comfortable with. I make mine big, but I'm on a gaming system. I have multiple monitors. I can afford the real estate, right? But if I was playing on my laptop, which I do every once in a while, when I'm traveling, the mini-map is smaller, I will agree. So mini-map, big, huge, important thing, and you should be constantly looking at it, constantly. Your eyes should be moving from the game to the mini-map, game to the mini-map, game to the mini-map, okay? And then when you're in a downtime where you're just driving, checking the mini-map, what's going on, all right? The other thing is... I'm going to mention this later, I'm sure, is, find the type of tank that you like. Do you like mediums? Do you like TDs? I see you have some TDs. Do you like the lights? Do you like heavies? Play them all. Get used to them. But I'm a medium tank type of guy. I like those mediums and lights and TDs more than I do the heavies. I just struggle with the heavies. I do. And I have 20-some thousand games. And a lot of the viewers on this channel have way more games than that. Way more games. All right. And it's going to take a lot of games to get really good. You got to be patient. All right. You either like this game and keep playing it because you enjoy the game, or you're a try hard and you just got to be the best at every game, or you're going to get frustrated and not play the game. All right. And the biggest thing that leads to frustration is you being outside your skill set. All right. So stay in your skill set. So here we are. We're on Pilsen. You're in a 36 or 3001H, which is a German medium. All right. And a tier 5 medium. And you're on Pilsen. You can see other tier 5. So it's strictly a tier 5 game. All right. Pilsen has basically three corridors to it, right? So you have the 9-0 corridor. You have the middle corridor here, and you have the 1-2 corridor. This is generally where all the heavies go. RD generally sits over here. TDs maybe once in a while. This is kind of open though. You'll find lights run through here. You'll find mediums. You'll find heavies coming through here. This is generally the mediums and light area with TDs over here and TDs over here. All right. So this map is generally won by winning a flank and then folding in on top of the enemy. All right. So whether it's the 1-2 flank or the 9-0 flank, generally whoever wins those flanks wins the game. All right. Well, really, it's only one flank. Your team has to hold the other flank, otherwise it's just big ring around the rosy. But yeah, that's it. It's generally whoever wins what flank, the 1-2 or the 9-0, it generally wins the game. So let's get started here. All right, so you decide to head over towards the 9-0, which is not bad. I'm not going to say you're making a drastic mistake because you're in a medium. That's generally where mediums tend to go, so that's fine. Heavies are all heading over towards the buildings, which is generally where they go. You'll find that happens a lot. That's what's called a meta of the map. Now, the meta doesn't always stay there. The meta isn't always the way it is. But it's a general good starting point. And that's what you want when you're starting. When you're sitting there and that clock's counting down, you want to be thinking about what you might run into, where you might go, what's your plan. And sometimes your plan will work all the way through the game, and sometimes it'll be gone in the first minute and a half, first 30 seconds. All right? All right, so the 3001, you've got the bigger turret, the bigger gun on it. So, yeah, that's good. At least you're not running around with a little derp gun on it anymore. Then we got an M4A1 cruising through the middle. And it's weird that you don't see any of the lights being the Leopard or the T67 or the T34 running through this area. It's an M4A1 and a PZ4. All right, there's a PZ4, a nice shot. All right. You can tell that since he looked at you, he knew you were here. Your sixth sense went off. So let's talk about crews. At this tier, you generally don't have very experienced crew, but you want to either A, give all your crew brother in arms first, which most people tend to do, because it just helps the crew work together. Then what a lot of people do is once they've achieved brothers in arms, they'll swap that out for gold or coin for 6 cents on their commander, because that tells you when you're spotted. And 6 cents only works when it's 100%. Okay, after you've gotten the skill 100%. Some skills will work as the crew member is building that skill, but some are 100%. They only go into effect when they're 100%. So some people will swap out brothers in arms for 6 cents, especially in mediums and lights. All right, because you got to know when you're spotted. So if you haven't done that, or if you don't do that, you've got to assume that if you can see them, they can see you. All right. So you put a shot into him, you take a shot from him. This is kind of dangerous because you're way out in the open. If there were any TDs out back here on this ridge, in a tier 8 game, a tier 8, tier 9, tier 7, tier 8, tier 9, tier 10 game, you'd be being tore up. Absolutely just ripped to shreds, because you'd have people from here shooting you, people from here shooting you, because these guys, until they go dark, I mean, you don't know if you're dark, so you have to assume that you're still lit. All right. So a very dangerous maneuver there. Try not to put yourself in a situation where you can easily take damage. All right, what do we got? Oh, he's dead, so it doesn't matter. All right. You want to use the ground, use your armor. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're just sitting out there. Trust me, I know of what I speak, because I still make those mistakes. All right. M41A. Now you got guys that huddled back on the zero line. They're not pushing forward. All right. Your heavies are doing their job over on the heavy area. And you're going to push down here. Now, again, we don't know if you're lit. We have to assume that you are, but you are making a move, and that's you're using the hills to kind of save yourself from any damage. My assumption is you weren't lit because these guys don't even know that you're here. Or they're not paying attention to their minimap. Anyway, you put a shot into the M41A, and he's down. He had the big derp gun, so it's a good thing he didn't hit you. There's the PZ4. You put a shot into him and fall back. Nice, nice. Now the DS is rushing in. Now you guys have isolated him. He's all by himself. He's got 2 to fight. Who's he going to fight? And the DS puts him down. All right. That's how that works. Okay, so now we have a choice to make. Rule to learn. When you're flank, go back to base. Because generally, if you've won your flank, the other flank is struggling. Go help that flank. Go support that flank. Go back to base, because if that flank may have fallen down, you've already got people heading towards your base, and now you got to go back and defend it. When you're flank, what's going on the other flank? Don't just drive into campers. Campers are the TDs that are hiding in a bush back there somewhere. Don't drive into them. Don't bring them into the game until you're ready to deal with them. All right. Right now, we know where the threat's at. The threat is over in the heavy area. All right. We don't know what's over here, and we haven't lit anything up, and your leopard's on the run. He's not helping. We don't know. So why drive into it? We know where the heavies are. We know there's a battle going on over here. We need to go over here and help. Well, that's the choice that you end up making, which is good. A good maneuver. Go over, help the heavies. Be supportive. That's what mediums do. They support. They flank. Be careful about driving out into the open. All right, there's a T-67. You spotted him. He spotted you. T-67s are generally run by what we call SEAL clubbers. You're the SEAL, and they're going to club you. All right? They enjoy going down there and just beating you new players like redheaded stepchildren. So they generally are fully loaded crews, fully loaded equipment. I mean, like I said, you just have to, if you spotted him, you just have to realize that you were probably spotted. All right? Which makes sense because he never comes around that corner. He's like, no. And then he's waiting for his 6th sense to go away and to go dark. Because once you're spotted, once the vision is interrupted by a building or something, you go dark after 10 seconds. Okay? So T-67, and he can shred you without you knowing where he's at. All right, so we're driving along. You see, oh, what do you see here? Now, I don't know if you saw that because you just looked over there or if you actually did look at your mini-map and note the P-43 was there because he's been there for quite some time. All right, but you do see him, and you take him out. Nice work. All right, so what are you doing? Where are you going? All right. At this point, I think I would have still kept... I probably might have driven through this building and helped out with the KV-1. Try to help your heavies. That's what mediums do. Try to help your heavies. All right? I don't know where you're going over here unless you're trying to chase that T-67 or you're thinking about capping, but it's way too early to think about capping. That T-67, if he's smart, he's long gone. All right? The other thing about the mini-map is it can tell you where buildings are at and where tanks are compared to those buildings. And if you use the mini-map here, you'll see that you don't have any shots on these guys. There's absolutely zero reason to be looking over here. You just glance at the mini-map, you say, yep, I can't shoot them because there's buildings in my way, and just keep driving. But you stop, and that's never a good thing. Never stop right out in the open. Especially when you don't know where that T-67 went. Alright, so using the buildings, which is good. Good on you. Your heavies are down. Now it's just their KV-1. And he's being attacked by multiple tanks. There's a PZ-4. And this is what I'm talking about, the touchpad. Or the mouse issue. But you get a shot into the PZ-4. Now he's rushing him. He's going behind that building. Now the DS, he takes out the DS. So now it's mano a mano, one-on-one. Alright? You have the hit points. He's only got 244 left. You've obviously got more than he does. Plus, he's probably got the derp gun on him, right? So he's not going to take huge chunks out of you. But you get distracted. by the shiny little object called the SU-122A, which is an arty, which just keeps your attention. And while this is keeping your attention, you have exposed your tank, especially the side of your turret, which is the weakest part of your turret next to the back. You have exposed your tank to this guy over here. Why he doesn't take advantage of that, I'll never know, other than he's a complete muppet and he's afraid. He's hiding. All right, but he should be popping out and popping you. All right, because you're focused on the arty. Don't get focused. Don't get, especially on tanks that are not the threat. The PZ-4H is the threat. This guy is not the threat. This is arty. He is not the threat. Unless you just want to kill the arty, which apparently you do. Oh, PZ-4 finally pops out and misses you. All right, I don't know if he had to repair his crew or what, but he fires again, misses you again. T-24 Skoda comes in and takes him out. All right, you do take a damage shot from him. HE shot from him. T-67's taking on the T-67. And he's down. And that is a victory. All right, well, you got a second class out of that. A fire for effect, 44,100 in credits, 4,172 in experience, and 25 bonds. You did 1,280 in damage, got 3 kills for a base XP of 695. Which puts you in second place. Fired 14 shots. Of those 14, 12 hit. That's good. You fired 14 and 12 of them found their mark. Of those 12 that hit, 12 penetrated. That's even better. All right. The closer you can keep that group, the more effective your gun is in the game. 271 from 300 meters out, and you managed to spot 2 vehicles, but you didn't get any assistance. Made some good credits, made some good experience. So, your little note here is, what could I have done better in this scenario? Well, I think not getting focused on the arty, obviously, is one of the big things. Knowing where the threat is coming from and where your threat is at. So, anyway, let's move on to the second one. All right, so here we are. You're in the VK3001P, which is a Tier 6 heavy. All right, and you had a little note with this. At the time of this was your highest damage battle to date. Since you were in the lower tiers, your thought process was mainly to try and do a support in a heavy. So you're trying to support, I'm not sure, but you are in a heavy tank. The crew is from your PZ-4H that he moved over and has about 90% skill. I'm assuming tank training. They have brothers in arms and commander has recon, radio has SA, loader, gunner, driver are all repairs. Okay, so a couple things to think about. I like the brothers in arms as long as they're all on all the crew members. The commander, I would have gone for 6th Sense before recon. Simply because the 6th Sense doesn't kick in until it's 100%, right? So that's going to take you the longest. I believe recon starts working right away. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. SA on the radio is good as long as it has brothers in arms. Repairs for the loader, gunner, and driver. I think for the gunner and driver, maybe repairs. The loader, I would have gone for safe stowage because, trust me, ammo racking sucks. Getting ammo racked sucks. A, can end your game, and B, just increases the loadout, right? So just some things to think about. As far as equipment, you're running hardening, rammer, and optics. Okay. I think on this, the hardening, probably not too bad of a deal. Optics, okay. Rammer, yes. Might try a gun laying drive. As you get into the higher tiers, you'll start looking at vert stabs or improved rotational, stuff like that. But all in all, the crew, the equipment and the crew are pretty much based upon what you tend to use the tank for, right? So not a bad start on that. Not a bad start. So we find ourselves on Westfield. We are in a standard battle, which is good. You're not playing encounter yet or attack and defend. You are in a tier 8, tier 7, tier 6 game, so you're low tier heavy. All right, so Westfield, again, another one of those maps that has a general meta that is 80% always played, but there's always vacillation, right? So spawning on this side, which is the east side, the heavies tend to battle up in this area. All right, maybe a medium or TD over here, and then over on this area, as you can tell, they've spawned all your lights and your mediums down here. They tend, and it looks like a couple TDs and Artie. They tend to fight over here because they have the vision that they can shoot across and the mobility to get across that area fairly quickly, whereas heavies generally don't have the vision. All right. You have a Tiger 1 heavy. Let's see. That's pretty much it for the heavies, right? Yeah, Tiger 1 and you. Okay. No, there's another one. Yeah, Tiger 1. Oh, KV8 1S. Okay. Against their heavies of let's see, an AMX M445, which is nothing to sneeze at. The VK30601H and their KV1S. All right. So my choice here, and when the clock is counting down, and you're trying to figure out where am I most likely going to run into these tanks? Where am I most likely going to run into the Skoda? Where am I most likely going to run into the TS? And seriously, honestly, with those two tier 8s, the Scorpion G, the TS, the Skoda, I would expect them to either be pushing hard around the JK line, the K line, and the 0 line, or coming up here and battling you heavies. Okay, so my choice here is I would automatically start heading towards the heavy area. I might even trundle across this way and get down into this little ditch area and see if I can get some shots on them. That's me. All right. That's the general meta. All right. So it looks like you're thinking about that. And you start off that way. And then you change your mind. You must be following the Tiger. And the KV1S is running. So this is just a weird deployment. Just a weird deployment because very rarely do you see all the heavies just charge into the little village. There's usually some always going up to the 1-2 area. All right? But they're charging into the village. You're going to see strange stuff like this in the lower tiers, but you're going to see a lot more meta played in the upper tiers. So you're cruising along. Problem with this is you guys have left a flank totally exposed. You're hoping that these 2 TDs can take care of anything that comes through this area. All right? ISU 152K, yeah. Hard-hitting TD. Hellcat's got a fairly quick reload, but these are both soft-skin TDs. You got the RHM here, and he can do some serious damage, but he's soft-skin, and the IKV is a sneaky little bastard, along with the IKV-90. But, and your mediums are hard-charging over here. So this area that you're at right now is tricky because you can't see on the other side, and there could be a light over there that has you lit. And again, without Sixth Sense, you don't know that. You're just hard charging through. All right, we got a JPZ, and you're gonna have the. Looks like you might have the drop on him. He's turned towards you. Artie's gotten in on him. He bounces you. You bounce his shot. You put 2 into him. Now he's gone dark, which means you've gone dark to him. Blind shot into some dirt, looks like, and then you keep pushing. All right. Chances are he may have taken off, head downhill. I don't know. All right. Now, the one thing about this little village is you have to remember you can expose your sides without even thinking about it. All right. And all it takes is a light to run down in here, or that JPZ to get down here below you, and you're lit and you're getting hit from 6 different directions. So it's something to think about. But you're looking for the MT-25. You are a heavy, not a sniper. Okay, that's the other thing, is playing tanks to their advantages. So let's look what's going on behind you. Had your heavies gone to this area, the M445 and the TS5 are now just trundling through. You've already given up a third of the map from the west side on, okay, because you guys went to the village. All right, so just something to think about. You're coming over here, trying to play sniper tank. MT-25's down. STRVs out there, and you do clip him. All right, there's the Skoda T27. It's a 3-shot autoloader. All right, just missing him. All right, the TS5 is down, luckily. Your ISU and your, it looks like the KB122 took care of that. All right, so you're still trying to support. I'm assuming you're trying to support this side over here, right? Which you have the draw. I mean, the maximum draw range to do. All right, but you don't have the view range to really keep these tanks lit. So you're relying on these guys to light them for you. All right. Meanwhile, the KB1S and the AMX M4 are moving in on your Tiger 1 and your KB1S, along with a Scorpion G and a Jag Tiger somewhere, a Jag Panzer. Oh, E25 sees you, Strom sees you. Now you're taking some damage because you've been spotted. You didn't know about it. All right. Luckily, you get behind the building, which is a smart move, but you got to be careful because now Artie knows where you're at too. All right. Repair your tank. Your crew's stunned, so you're driving terribly. The M44's in on you. All right. And using the buildings. This is what we call getting Artie safe. Trying to get Artie safe, and yet the STRV and the Skoda are still attracting your attention. All right, well, your heavies took care of their heavies, so that's okay. Got an 88 over there, so it's worked out for you. But to be honest with you, the only reason it's worked out is because the other team is absolutely full of Muppets. If that team had better players, I think you guys would have been rolled up, tied in a pretty bow, and mailed away. All right, there's the T27. He's running. You get a shot into him. Nice tracking shot. There's a hit. He's on fire. Nice work. All right. And he's gone. Nice work. You put him on, set him on fire. Now you're focusing on this STRB. Meanwhile, we have absolutely no idea where anybody else is at. And the reason I say that is because you, the Super Hellcat, and what else is over here? The RHM are all focused over here. Nobody has any idea what's going on here. These guys are on the other side of the hill. They can't spot anything for you, and they're all trundling over here. Probably got a TD or something over here. But we don't know where the Scorpion G's at. We don't know where the Jag Tiger's at. We have no idea about the E25. I mean, your team is winning. Okay, so I'm not trying to take it away from you, but you know you're just sitting out here, trying to focus on this STRV. There's the E25. This is what makes me wonder if you have a touchpad or something. There's a shot into him. Nice work. All right, you have to assume that you're lit. There goes the RHM. Moving, you're rolling. You're highly exposed right here, just highly exposed. You have to assume that you're lit. When you shot that E25, he's got the view range on you. I'm sure that, you know, as soon as you fired at him, everybody knew where you were at. Since you don't have Sixth Sense, we don't know. There's the JPZ. Oh, Scorpion G. And chances are he's right over here in this bush. right over here in these bushes. All right, so let's see what the game plate says. All right, well, you got a third class out of it. A bruiser, fire for effect, 59,531 in credits, 7,168 in experience. You did 1,900 in damage. I mean, you could have gotten more damage, I believe, had you gone the other way and not tried to sit there and play sniper. 0 kills gives you a base XP of 597. That drops you down to, 6th place. All right. You fired 10 shots, but only 7 hit. Out of those 7 that hit, they penetrated, but still, you lost 3 shots somewhere. You did 1,426 from 300 meters out. You did block 405. All right. A little costly of a game because of repairs and stuff, but you made some credits, made some good experience. So I guess my only thought on that is you just took your tank to the wrong place. It worked for you because you had a team of Muppets on the other side, to be honest with you. Had that Skoda 27 come through the village instead of holding on to that flank over there, yeah, I think you guys would have been some serious troubles. But yeah, let's see what the third one has. All right, so here we are in your VK3601H, a tier 6. I believe this is this a heavy tank or a medium tank? It is a heavy. All right, so you did have a little note here. Bring it up. I was on a map that, for whatever reason, I just do not do well in. Sand River is a tough map for a lot of players. It's a tough map for me. And this is an encounter, which just kind of changes the way the game is played a lot, or the way the map is played. So there's several different options in this map, and what you'll generally see, okay, very rarely what you'll see at the upper tiers is a lot of tanks trundling down through here. You might get one coming down here, but this is just a shooting gallery. It used to be where all the heavies went and battled it out, but not so much anymore. You'll get some TDs over here, TDs over here. You'll get somebody playing the dunes over here, and generally from this spawn, a lot of players like to play these dunes because they can get some spotting and obviously keep an eye on that cap. Get some shots over here, some shots over here. And you'll have a bunch of guys go up and battle in this area. And this is generally where you're starting to see a lot of the heavies nowadays. Maybe one or two coming in through here or this area, but very rarely do you see them down here. And that generally goes for both ways. On the eastern spawn, they'll head up here and it'll just be a battle royal. You'll get a couple that'll zoom down the sand dunes here. TDs are parking here and here. But the battle is generally in this area, to be honest with you. Okay. But like I said, very few come down in here because it is such a shooting gallery. Let's bring the note back up here. Let's see. This time I tried to do my best. Stay with my wingman. Okay. That's that. And that's fine. But remember, you don't, unless you're talking to him, to that player, you have absolutely no idea what that player is going to do. Okay. So you can try and support somebody, but at the same point, you've got to be able to watch out for yourself. All right. If they do something totally just dumb, you got to be able to say, I'm out of here. I'm backing out. I can't do this. All right. Let's see. And do what we could do. Towards the end, though, I realized that I was in a bad situation. Yep. I've watched this one, and you do get in a bad situation, and tried to make an escape, and you did. And I'm not going to go into the rest of the note because I'm going to explain it to you. All right. So the VK3601H is slow, but it's got a good hitting gun. It's not a bad tier 6, but it's a baby light. It's on the way to the Tiger, I believe. So you have two options here at this point. You can either trundle in this way, and at this level, you're probably going to see a lot more people play the ditch here, or you can head up this way. All right, so let's go. So indecision, not knowing what you're going to do, when you're going to do it. You're looking around, seeing what everybody else is doing. It's not bad to just kind of sit there and see, okay, well, where's the team deploying to? All right, where's it going? You see the Type 64 and the Cromwell. There's a 1357. Nice hit of that 1357 on a run. All right. You got people wanting to platoon with you, which is fine. The O&I, the VK3002D. All right, so yeah, you want to get out of there because that 1357 just lit everybody up, and Artie's coming in. Be careful breaking down buildings. Driving in and through them is not bad, but be careful breaking them down. Now you guys are opened up to this area here. Stopping here is not a good idea. All right, because he's already got you guys. I mean, he's got you lined up. The 1357's shooting at you. And you're just sitting there. You're basically just a big pinata right at the moment. So you want to get to some protection as quickly as possible. All right, Easy 8 puts a shot into you. There's another shot from Easy 8. There's Artie. All right, so before the game even started, you lost a lot of hit points just simply because you stopped trying to hit that guy. It's okay to take a drive-by shot, all right? But at the beginning of the game, You know where they're spawning. They know where you're spawning. All right. So you want to get out of that spawn and get to some cover fairly quickly. Try not to stop. It's easy to just do it, drive by, pointing at them and shoot and keep driving. But every time you stop, you're just becoming a big, huge target. All right. So we're down to 521 hit points out of 1,210. So roughly over half of your hit points are gone. And then you got 163 to show for it. All right, so you're following the ONI. Down here, you're still not really sure what you do. And that's the one thing I'm going to tell you right now. It looks right now, to me, it looks like you do not feel comfortable with where you're at. You don't know how to play the map. You don't feel comfortable with the map. You said that in your note. You just don't play it well. And it took me a long time to learn how to play this map. And you're not comfortable. You're not sure if you should follow the ONI, who's down to 41% of his hit points. But you're committed now. All right, because once you get into this trench, it is hard to get out. So this is your only option to change your mind. All right. You have some tier 7s in this game. All right, and so you got to be careful here. All right. 1357's coming down here, and he just absolutely loses his mind, and you hit a critical hit, and he just kills himself. Now we see a Black Prince, all right? And the Black Prince is a tough tank. He's got some very good armor, very fast reloading gun, accurate. All right, now you are highly exposed, and you take a shot from the Black Prince. And what I mean by that is, let's take a look at your tank. You are showing him the whole side, and this thing's nothing but a big pinata right now. All right, what you want to use, and you'll do it later, is you'll creep back around this hill and use this hill as protection, which works out very well for you for a little bit. And that's where you want to be. You didn't want to push down in here because, again, once you're down here, you've got nowhere to go. You can buddy up right next to the ONI, but he's so big, you've got to come way out to get your shots around him. All right, so this is another one of those I've gone in too far. Critical shot on him. Now you do fall back, and that's good. Now you're using the hill. All right, now that's good. Using your gun depression, using the hill, working on the togs, who are just slowly just machine gunning the ONI to death. All right, yep. There's another shot. Nice shot into him. All right, you fall back. Yep. All right, there's another shot. The ONI is he's being machine gunned down. There's a shot into the tog. There's another shot into the tog. All right, some good shot selection. They're just outnumbering you guys right now. And as soon as the ONI goes down, now you're outnumbered, and you have zero support. You do have an M44 over here, which is not very helpful. I mean, he can lob shells over here. You have a 40 TP here. You have no TDs over here. Now your team is rounding everybody up. I mean, they've taken the sand dunes, they've taken the hill over here, they're squeezing everybody in, and my guess is there's just a ton of players right in here right now. And we know where at least 2 togs and a Black Prince are right now. All right, so you are by yourself, buddy. All right, you take out the tog, which is good. Look for your next shot. All right. And that Black Prince is just going to roll in. So here your option is quit backing up. Start going forward. Head up this hill. Get up this hill. Try to get up here as quickly as you can. All right? Because he's going to come in, and you're just going to end up being faced with it. So you're thinking about it. You're making the move. You're making the move. All right, that's good. That's good. All right, now you want to turn your armor towards him, which I can understand. All right, now he puts a shot into you. Again, turn, go up the hill, get up the hill, make him chase you if that's the worst case. Chances are you could get to the top of that hill before he gets too many more shots into you. All right, but get up that hill. Don't sit here and try and go face to face with him. All right. Artie's in on him, so you got that helping you out. Now's your chance. Oh, you just missed your chance. All right, there's a tracking shot. He puts a shot into it, and you back up. No, you want to be going up that hill. Don't give him any more shots. Oh, there's a shot into him. He's backed up on the rocks. You put yourself in a situation you can't get out of. Now you're heading up the hill, and you're moving. You're moving. I'm going to turn the camera around. You're moving. You're moving. And, yeah. Well, you got a second class, 46,436 in credits, 2,326 in experience. You did 1,132 in damage, got 1 kill for base XP of 775. We notice that puts you in third place as far as base XP, right? You fired 17 shots and 15 hit, and of those 15 that hit, only 9 penetrated. That's not too good. You did 163 from 300 meters out, and you managed to detect for 851. You didn't block anything, okay? And made some decent credits, made some decent experience. So that how to escape was to go up that hill. There's nowhere else to go. I mean, you could have turned tail and try to run out behind, turn around and try to run backwards if you wanted. It might have proven to be quicker, but he would have just been able to come around that corner and just machine gun you down as you're trying to run away from him. Moving up to that hill, you're changing his gun elevation, so maybe he can't get the elevation that he needs to hit you all the time. All right, you can always turn your turret around and be shooting at him while you're driving up the hill. Okay, returning the favor. But yeah, you had a chance to get up that hill and take advantage of it, especially when they already hit him. You tracked him. There were several chances you had to get up that hill and reduce the amount of damage he was giving you, but you chose to stick it out and fight. And that's just an experience thing. That is all that is, an experience thing. So, Penelope, I think I'm seeing a lot of good things, but I'm also seeing just a lot of very simple mistakes. Watch your replays, all right? If you don't have it turned on in the game, go in there under general, have it record even the last game, but have it turned on to record the replays. Obviously you do because you're able to spit them out. I have them record all of mine. I have the disk space that I can move them off to another disk, and then I can go back through and do that. But if you don't have the disk space, just make sure you go and clean them out every now and then. You'll find them in the replay folder inside the games folder, wherever on your C drive that the game is installed. Inside the World of Tanks North America, there's a replay folder. Inside there is all the replays. Obviously, again, you know where to find them. But send us some more. We want, we're here to help. I enjoy trying to help you. I can give you as much of my knowledge as possible. But you're right in the sweet area. I might stay at 4 and 5 and work a little bit longer at that. Maybe start chasing up the Russian line, maybe the American line, and work towards some heavies if you find that, or the mediums if you like those. Try to find a type of tank, be it a light, medium, or heavy, that you seem to do fairly well in and enjoy, and then work on the other ones as you can. But right now it's learning the maps, it's learning the metas, it's learning the angling of armor, watching the mini map. What's going on? What is your team doing? Did I just get a bunch of Muppets and I'm left here all alone? Try not to isolate yourself. There's a lot of things, and you've got a lot of games left to learn this. At 300 games, I'm just giving you 300 games because I don't know what you're playing today. But at 300 games, you're still wet behind the ears. And honestly, there's probably going to be some people that are going to respond that you probably shouldn't even be at tier 6 right now. So don't be in a hurry to push through the tiers. It's not going to do anything but frustrate you, make you angry, make you hate the game. If you're picking up things quicker, that's fine. All right. But until you can get to a game where you hand out as much damage as you have HP, and you find that you're not making the mistakes that you're making in these videos, stay where you're at and just learn the game. That's the biggest piece of advice that I can give you, is learning the game, learning the mechanics, learning the tanks, learning the maps. Just learn the game. And don't be in such a hurry to rush up the tiers. Again, feel free to send me any more videos. I'll be happy to highlight them here for you. Those are my thoughts. So again, not meant to criticize you too hard or to be too harsh. I don't think I was. But they're just it's food for thought. It's help to help you. So anyway, that is Penelope Pinstripe in his 3 tanks. If you like the videos, hit the like button. Keep those videos coming. I greatly appreciate it. This is Bonsai Duck out.